Welcome to Bedroom Matters. I am Cecilia Ago, a certified relationship and marriage counselor and a clinical sexologist. So today we'll be talking about reasons women run away from sex. This topic is going to hit home for a lot of women, so I suggest that you make sure your men also watch this because it is good for you and it's equally as good for them. Now let me start from the beginning. The first reason women run away from sex is wrong programming. So the average woman was raised and told to keep herself for her man. Don't have sex, don't let any man see your underwears. You know what I'm talking about, yes? So we were raised to keep ourselves and be good girls, while the boys were raised to, whatever you do, make sure you don't impregnate a girl out there. And I'm not saying that that training is wrong. It just is not a complete training. We ought to understand why we shouldn't have sex when we're young or when we're little babies. We have to understand the implications, you know, the reasons why. People need to know. Now, besides that, we were also raised in a place where people thought that sex is a bad word, it's a bad thing. And so you find out that even married couples don't talk about sex. So the upbringing is a major factor, and one of the things that a lot of women need to do to change that perception is to learn. So that's why we have Bedroom Matters. Hello. So you come here, you learn to unlearn the things you have previously been taught and learn new things, because sex is beautiful. Sex is a gift from God to married couples. And the moment you begin to see it as not a dirty thing but a beautiful gift from God, then you begin to loosen the bound or the bond or the stronghold that have held you together all these years or hold you back all these years. So let me move on to the second one. The second reason women run away from sex is trauma. Now, this is very serious. This is very deep. A lot of women were abused at some point in their lives or another. Now, at some point, UNICEF said that 2 to 3 out of every 10 ladies was abused. I believe that that number is higher than they're projecting, because, hey, a lot of African countries don't even have data. You know, when a woman is abused, she's told to keep quiet. You don't want the family name in the mud. And so women grow up feeling unwanted, feeling like this thing that was taken away forcefully from them can't be, you know, enjoyable, can't be something that is beautiful. And a lot of women can't even share their story with their husbands. Again, I always like to say to women, it's important to start, try, get professional help, you know, share it with that person who is closest and loves you the most. And in the case of you as a married woman who is probably watching this video now, you don't know how to start this conversation with your husband because you feel he might not take it well, he may just flip or whatever. Two things will happen. He will either listen to you, hug you, make you feel better. When he flips, understand that he is not ready for that conversation. He's not equipped for that conversation. Nobody has taught him. So you need to come into that conversation properly armed to make sure that he understands where you're coming from. Most importantly, something was done to you. It is not your fault. So it's time to come out of it and get professional help. Now, let me speak to the men. It's very important that you understand reasons why your wife is running away from sex. And if she has ever mentioned to you that she was abused while growing up and you didn't do anything about it, after watching this video, go hug your wife and tell her that you're ready to have that conversation. Most importantly, get her professional help. Because, you know, the thing is, in Africa, we think God will take care of everything. God, when you pray, you know, you shouldn't feel bad about things like this. And I'm not saying that prayers don't work. They do work. But God also expects you to take care of certain things in your life. And so if trauma is affecting your sexual pleasure in your marriage, husbands and wives, please seek professional help, okay? Number 3, this one is very serious. It happens to 9 out of every 10 women. Stress. a lot of women are constantly stressed. Now, we come from a part of the world where a woman, is supposed to be a woman and show that she's a woman by doing almost everything. So she's the wife, she's the mother, the cleaner, the cook, the driver, the teacher, and everything in between. And at the end of the night, she is supposed to be magically ready for bedroom matters. Auntie, don't kill yourself by yourself. If you need to delegate, if you need to get extra hands, by all means. If you need to have somebody come in to clean the house, by all means. If you need to get a driver, by all means. So that at the end of the day, you still have some energy reserved. Now, I also know that there are some men who don't want strangers in their house, My mother gave birth to 7 of us. Yeah, and so it means that you only have 2. You cannot be complaining. My mother took care of 7 of us without any house help. Hello, times have changed, sir. If your wife needs a helping hand, please allow her get a helping hand. Because the reason why she's always coming up with excuses all the time, waist pain today, headache the next day, her uncles, brothers, father-in-laws, grandmothers, late friend, whatever died, it's simply because she's stressed. There is no, energy left of her at the end of the day. So if you know that stress is the reason, look for ways to delegate some of those activities, because the one you can't delegate is the one you're running away from, okay? The 4th reason women run away from sex is poor self-image. The truth is, a lot of us struggle with one part of our body or the other. Personally, I struggle with baby pouch. Yeah, I've got some skin and some flesh here, some fat inside here. And for me also, my arm. So sometimes looking at myself in front of the mirror can be a challenge. I'm working on it. I'm way better than I used to be. And I know that that's some women's challenges. Some people worry about their boobs. It's no longer as perky as it used to be when the guy was chasing you all around town. A lot of women have different insecurities, body insecurities. It might even be stretch marks. Whatever it is, let me say to you now, sometimes your husband doesn't care. Sometimes he doesn't know that that thing you're worried about actually worries you. He sees his fine, sexy wife and he just wants to make love to you. Most of you turn off the lights because you don't want him to see you. Auntie, please, let us do better, okay? One of the things I would suggest that you do is strip yourself, stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself. Tell yourself how gorgeous you look. Tell yourself you're beautiful. This body has produced other human beings. Some women will give an arm and a leg to be mothers. So if you're a mother out there, you have insecurities about your body, love the body you currently have while working towards the body you want to have in the future. Now, let me hit something to the men. There are some men that should not be called husbands. Yeah, your wife has big pouch, big tummy, flabby breasts, and then the only thing you know how to say is to curse her out on those things. This is a woman that you chased, you got married to. Nobody forced you to marry her. She's giving you children. The least you can do is appreciate the body that has done all of these things for you. But some of you body shame your wives. You tell her she's not the first to give birth. You tell her she has to do something about that big tummy. Meanwhile, you probably even look like you're 9 months pregnant with triplets. But you can have mouth to talk to your wife anyhow. Please understand that this is a very serious thing. It makes the woman feel worthless. It makes the most powerful woman, the most wealthy woman, the most confident woman feel very inadequate. So let's do better as husbands and wife this year, all right? The 5th reason your wife runs away from sex is that she doesn't feel loved. Yes, you heard me right. Your wife doesn't feel loved. She might be smiling with you, cooking your meal, doing your laundry and doing everything a wife is supposed to do. But when it comes to sex, she runs away because she doesn't feel loved. And there are several reasons why a woman will not feel loved. We have something called the 5 love languages. If you don't understand what love feels like for your wife, then you need to read that book. It's by Gary Chapman. It's called the 5 love languages. You need to understand each other's love language, and you need to love her the way she wants to be loved. I'll give you an example. A woman whose love language is probably quality time does not see you at home for the whole week. You leave very early, you come in late at night, and then weekends you still don't make out time to spend with her. She might just be a happy person, love life and all of that, but deep down, her love tank is empty. If she's somebody who sees acts of service as a love language and she just wants you to help her around the house, if you constantly come home and dump your shirts for her in the bedroom, on the bed, or on a piece of furniture in your bedroom so that she can constantly pick up after you, you're depleting her love tank. You must learn to help around the house. You must learn to do homework with your children. You're not helping your wife do homework for your children. Those are your children. It's your responsibility to understand what love feels like for your wife. Because when she feels love, she will gladly open up herself. You need to understand that for women, sex is more psychological than it is physical. For men, it's very physical. They're angry 1 minute and then they see some bomb shaking in front of them. And all that anger is out of the window in most cases. So let's understand to love each other the way we want to be loved. Don't love your wife the way you perceive love to be. The easiest thing to do is to ask her, babe, honey, sweetheart, whatever it is you call your wife, what can I do for you today that will make you feel better, that will make you feel loved, that will put a smile on your face? Go ahead, do that now. Maybe send her a message, maybe call her up over the phone, or sit down with your wife and ask her. You will be shocked at the things she will reveal to you. And go a step further. When she tells you, make sure you keep those things in mind and you do them for her. Because when a woman feels loved, then she's open for sexual intimacy. My final point for today is she doesn't enjoy sex. Straight and simple. And there are several reasons why a woman doesn't enjoy sex. First off, she doesn't know herself. She has limited skills as to what pleasure feels like. She's never orgasmed before. Or she used to orgasm at some point, but things happen. Now, she may not also enjoy sex because she goes through pain during sex, and maybe it's psychological, maybe it's medical. If she has things like vaginismus, you need to look into that. So men, when you make love to your wife, when you're trying to sexually pleasure yourself or pleasure your wife, it's important to ask her what works, what doesn't work. You need to also invest a lot of time in foreplay. Some of you have, anger issues. Some of you have quarreled in the morning and then you leave the house. You don't check up on your wife all day. You don't call to know what she's doing, how she's doing, has she eaten, is she feeling good, are the children okay? You come in at 10, 11 p.m. at night and then you want to physically get her in the mood. It doesn't work that way. Foreplay starts most of the time outside of the bedroom. So how do you do foreplay? First off, check up on her, make sure she's okay. Ask her how she's doing. It's not about the kids all the time. Ask her what you can do for her today. Ask her if she wants you to buy anything from any of the supermarkets on your way home. Be genuinely interested in her. And when you get home, kiss, love, fill her up. And when you're making love to your wife, it's very important that you're looking at her for feedback, for what feels right, and most importantly, talk to your wife during love making. Because a lot of women are timid, a lot of women don't have the skill, but they pretend. Yes, your wife might probably be pretending and giving you fake moans, and you think, I'm the Lion of the tribe of Judah in the bedroom in my house. Meanwhile, your wife is just in there, just faking it. And please don't come down. Please don't come down. This year, we're going to do better in our marriages, okay? And so look at the reasons why your wife is running away from sex. Have a conversation with her and try to fix things. All right? I'll see you again next time.